Hey everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast.
Freedom through passive income.
That's right, and today's episode is actually one of our weekly live updates. This is something new, and today we're going to be talking about the 2021 in review.
That's right. So we want to explain what a weekly live update is. If you have heard Flip on the mic before, you are noticing that he's a little bit raspy right now.
What are you talking about? I don't know, what do you mean?
And why is that? Is because today
make my day.
is the first week of January, and he and I just got over a sickness. I got over it faster than he did.
Yes, you did.
And so my voice is back to normal. He's still recovering.
I sound fine.
But once a week, the goal is, and this is an idea actually from Tanya Rooney. Shout out to Tanya. Thank you.
Tanya.
On Facebook, I had asked, hey, we started recording these podcasts, and the goal is for them to be short. Some of them are like now 12 and 14 minutes. And I heard that like people's attention span is very, very short, and probably the most they can listen to is like 8 minutes.
Right.
So should we re-record these? So what do you guys think we should be doing? Should we be doing these live? And so we got some feedback. So thank you to Stephen Libman as well, because he actually said, I don't think you should do all of them live because sometimes you're going to be on vacation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to be sick. There's just going to be times where you shouldn't have the stress of recording a live episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tanya suggested that, hey, it would be nice to hear some of them live, to hear how's your journey going? What are you doing?
Right.
What did you do this week? What's going on in terms of the number of doors? So we decided to mix both ideas. A lot of the content that we have is evergreen type of content, meaning it's the same.
Right.
It's going to be the same this year, and it's going to be the same in 5 years in terms, unless the market totally shifts, and we'll just start re-recording. But for the most part, a lot of the information is just educational content that we can be used over and over. But today we're talking about something that is very fresh to the first week of January of 2022, which you just talked about, 2021 in review, right?
That's right. That's right. And so one of the things we wanted to talk about is what did we do last year?
Yes.
So we now that's a big number.
It is a big number. It's almost double what we did in 2020.
Over $670,000.
Paid out in interest to our private money lenders. I don't even think we included our syndications in that. It was just private money lenders. Yes,
$670,000. So we're pushing. That's 2/3 of $1 million.
That's right. Yeah, and almost double what we did in 2020. So that was a big year, and we've got big goals. So I'm excited to see what that number turns into next year. Now, some companies would say that's $670,000 we spent. I'm not thinking of it that way.
Yeah.
That's $670,000 of interest we paid other people who lent us money for us to be able to grow our continually growing family of companies. Yep. And we couldn't have done it without them.
I'd rather be giving it to these people than to Bank of America.
That's right.
Chase.
Yes, exactly.
Another thing is that we're climbing to over $50 million of assets under management.
Yes, that's the most exciting because Freedom Capital Investments launched last year in 2021. That was big. Mm-hmm. And it was because of the 56 unit that you and I bought in 2020.
That helped.
Yeah. It was the excitement of, and wow, and the, realization that this is a big deal, not only to us in terms of passive income, but to our investors and how they can partner with us.
Right.
So that was very, very exciting. And for that first year to already be at almost $50 million or climbing to that number of assets under management. That's huge. That's awesome.
Yep. And then over $12 million deployed. And that's just in going out and getting.
Yeah. It's private money lenders. Mm-hmm. So of all of our private money lenders, I wanted to say when we started, we probably had about 17 people and about 3 million. Right. And that was back in 2015. In fact, 2015, I think, was less. 2017, I think it was those 17
lenders.
That's right, when
we started to kick in.
Yeah. And so from that 17 in 2017, 17 lenders in 2017, now and about $3 million, we've grown to now about, I don't know how many investors we have at this point, but we're actively deploying about $12 million in funds at all times, whether they're going in and out of deals or whether they're in like our debt fund, where it's a longer term investment. So that's super exciting too.
It is.
Woohoo!
It is.
So
right.
Go ahead.
No.
So that we are going to talk about the vision, right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay, so the vision of this. So Freedom Capital Investments is our sixth company, and we have a vision for it in terms of how can we serve our investors the same way we've done for the other 5 companies. Mm-hmm. So we did volume in the turnkey operations in order to mitigate risk for us and mitigate risk for our investors, right? If we lose money on 2 out of 10 deals, who cares? We made money on 8. we all win, right?
Yep.
We're doing the exact same thing here. So our goal is $1 billion of assets under management, which that could mean 250 to 500 million in capital that we are going to be raising from the people that we network with and get to know and build relationships with. And that is super, super exciting because that allows us to expand and help more people,
Yep.
which, that's a win all the way around.
Exactly.
So I'm super excited about that. It also gives our investors a consistent pipeline of deals, right? They don't have to be looking for how many people do I have to vet in terms of, are they good operators? Do they know what they're doing? Can I trust them?
Right.
They're going to have all the deals at their fingertips here, and the same with diversification because we're going to be doing something. So that's super, super exciting. So that's really all I wanted to talk about. Well, the different share classes, I was going to mention that. I know we're running out of time though. Depending on our investors, sometimes our investors are $50,000 investors and sometimes they're multiple millions dollar investors. So we're going to be creating programs that serve the needs of all of those different investors.
Right.
White glove service, concierge type things for people who have multiple millions and they want to diversify across everything we're doing.
Right.
The $50,000 investor that's brand new and wants education, needs cash flow, whatever their goals are, we're going to be customizing things for them. So that was the last goal that I kind of wanted to shout out in this episode. Okay, I know we're running out of time, so
Yeah, and so the last thing is because on all of our episodes we always talk about our Facebook group, and one of the things that we realize that not everybody's on Facebook,
yes,
right? And some people are just on LinkedIn.
that's right.
So we do have a group on LinkedIn as well. Now it doesn't have the cool little
Freedom through passive income ending.
yeah, it doesn't have the cool thing. So when you go to LinkedIn, just search for
Freedom through passive income.
And this gives you the opportunity to get in there. I mean, these groups are brand new.
Yes.
So it gives you the opportunity to get in there and listen to private conversations.
Yeah.
And hear what's going on because our guys are in there. They're the ones that are in there talking about the deals and talking about what we're doing.
Yep.
So it gives you the opportunity to get in there. And one of the things you had commented about earlier about is in case you don't want to talk about money, you can do an anonymous post.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Facebook has that feature where you can ask a question anonymously.
Yeah.
So that a lot of people feel like money is a taboo. You shouldn't be talking about it. Or, I don't want people to know that I don't understand this question or whatever. If you're that type of person, you can, on Facebook at least, post anonymously.
Right.
So that's a fantastic way for people to get their questions answered. And like you said, listen to the rest of us right now because the group's small. It's really our team that's just in there. We're talking. We're going to be doing case studies and meet the team and get to know people. And, you can just sit back and be a fly on the wall.
Okay, and again, I'll have the Facebook group right here on the screen. And again, or if you're on LinkedIn, just go over to LinkedIn and search for Freedom Through Passive Income. But again, we'd like to try to keep these short and sweet. This one a little long.
A little long.
Sorry, a little long. But again, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. And again, we always like to end all of our episodes with
invest smart.
Live happy.
Bye everybody.
Nothing in the show should be considered specific personal or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.